Hi, thank you, Shannon. Thank you, 1337 This Venture, for inviting us for this pitching session. Can hear, right? Yeah. So, okay, hi. My name is Dr. Chai. I'm actually the Chief Marketing Officer for Arus Oil. What we are is we are on-demand used cooking oil recycling platform, where we try to bring the convenience of recycling used cooking oil to your doorstep. So yeah, we are MPOB certified, and we are in the midst of getting our ISCC certification, which is a compliancy for European recycling used cooking oil. Yeah, carbon sustainability. All right, so why we start this? Of course, when we start, we always talk about the pain point. So in Malaysia, we have a big gap when it comes to recycling used cooking oil. We are one of the biggest market share when it comes to palm oil. We produce about 30% of, sorry, I think there's a typo in the slides. We produce about 30% of palm oil in the global scale, export only number 2 to Indonesia. But when it comes to recycling used cooking oil, means collecting back our waste cooking oil, we are only holding 3% of the market share in the world. So then we asked the question why. So why me and my partner Han, we started this company is because there was a raging issue with why are we producing so much oil, but we are not recycling enough to justify how much we are planting, right? So we did a market survey and we did a lot of research and we asked around and asked here and there. We found out that actually used cooking oil has already been recycled a lot. When it comes to Malaysia, it's about a 10-year industry. Hotels, F&B, big players, big hotel chains are already recycling the used cooking oil on a regular basis. But then when we look about the F&B segment, we look at the household segment, we don't see much of people that is recycling used cooking oil. We conducted a survey before we started this business, and we found out that as you and I, as our parents and us, most of us, we throw it down the drain. So we did a survey, we found out that a lot of people throw it down the drain. Some people they freeze it up and then they throw it into the dustbin, which eventually goes into the landfill. And the most dangerous of all is some people actually don't recycle the used cooking oil at all. They use it over and over and over again, and eventually it becomes in your nasi goreng or your mee goreng. That's why your mee goreng and nasi goreng look so and taste so good. Yeah, so that will of course impact environmentally and also impact our health issue lah. So that's why we found that there was a market in the household segment. So we started the company last year and did more survey, and we found out that there is a big gap. In Malaysia, annually, we produce about 19 million metric tons of cooking oil, palm oil. Domestically, when we are consuming is about 500,000 metric tons. And out of the 500,000 metric tons which is consumed domestically, F&B use a portion of it and household use a portion of it, which is roughly about half, 300,000 metric tons and 200,000 metric tons. And if you count into accommodation, every time you cook and there should be some oil retained in your food, we should collect at least 80% from 500,000. But last year, according to latest statistics of data, we only collected 192,000 metric tons. There is a shortage of at least 200,000 metric tons more. So the question is where? And we identified that it is in the household market. So we did a simple projection of the number of households in Malaysia and breaking it down by by the social status B40, B20, and B20. We found out that a lot of us actually don't recycle used cooking oil. On average, if everyone give about a household give about 2 kg of used cooking oil per month, we should get about 24,000 metric tons monthly. Divide times it by annually, and we get about 180,000 metric tons. So that's why we started Arus Oil. So when you go down to the question and ask people, why aren't you recycling your used cooking oil? The simple question is, it's very dirty and oily, and it's very hard for me to recycle used cooking oil. When I throw it, it's easier for me to just throw it down the drain. It's easier for me to just put it there. And then tomorrow I want to fry egg, I use the same oil and stuff like that. So we found out there's a lot of challenges. Number one is, of course, the convenience of recycling used cooking oil. And number two is, of course, the awareness. Many do not know that they can actually recycle their used cooking oil because they find that it's not worthwhile. If you are running an F&B chain or restaurant, you collect used cooking oil on about 100, 200 kg per month, it makes sense for you to compile and sell it off. But if you are just at home, it doesn't make sense for you, not worth the extra mile effort for you. We tried many things before we actually started. We tried having a collection center in our Padang. we tried having a recycling center. Yes, for dry waste, people do recycle, but when it comes to something oily and dirty, people are not willing to actually bring their dirty materials into their car, into their welfare or the Audi, and bring it to the recycling center. That's when we started Arus Oil. So it's a recycling cooking oil platform, oil available on Apple and Google Play Store. What we do is we provide users a seamless experience to recycle their used cooking oil by just a click away. So they can schedule for appointment, and our drivers will get in touch with them, and all status update will be updated into the app. Apart from that, they will get a transparent visual of how much they are earning, because we are buying used cooking oil from them. They get a transparent visual, and also they get to see how much carbon saving they actually do by recycling used cooking oil. Of course, when it comes to this, there are two methods for us to be wary of, because we are doing something where we need to make money, and yet we also need to look at the carbon possibility of it. We cannot be going somewhere very far to collect 1 kg of oil and come back. At the end of the day, we lose on operation costs, and also we lose on the carbon savings. So that's why with the help of the app and concentration, we can schedule routing to try to improve and optimize the carbon spent to collect used cooking oil, and the amount of cost for us in terms of our driver and our petrol and our diesel for our vehicles. All oil will be collected and sent to our factory, which is in USJ 1, where we do a pre-treatment, and eventually will be converted into biodiesel. Yeah. We are MPOB license holder, and like I said before, we are in the midst of getting our ISCC, International Sustainable Carbon Certification certificate, hopefully due next year Q1 or 2. So users will be able to transparently view all their activities in the app. They can see how much money they earn, and they can see how much carbon credit they earn. So we do work with some corporates, example IOI, where IOI we are servicing IOI residents in Puchong, Sepang, and Sierra 16. And all these carbon savings will be accumulated and will be briefed and will be reported to IOI, so that they can include it into their sustainability report, audit report yearly. So on top of that, every user also will be reported on how much they actually save in terms of carbon. So our business model is fairly simple. We collect used cooking oil from household. We call them UCO producers. We buy it at a portion for them. It ranges from 1 ringgit to 3 ringgit 50 cents. Our drivers will collect it from them on the scheduling on the app, and we actually sell it to a biodiesel manufacturer. We do a pre-treatment in our facility in USJ 1 before we actually make the sales to the biodiesel manufacturer. So of course, prices are volatile. As you can see, it's a commodity where price can go up and down a lot. So we base it on the percentage of CPO price. That's why we are actually locked to MPOB. It's just a brief of our user experience. Users make an appointment, driver will come, verify the weight, and we will pay them through the app. In the app, the users will be given a wallet where they can choose to cash it out, or they can choose to donate it out to certain NGOs that we have on board with us, or they can choose to redeem with some of our collaborative partners. So at the moment, we are working with Shell, where they can redeem some Shell vouchers that they can use in Shell Select stores in the petrol station. And also we are working with another company to do UCO, sustainable candles, scented candles. So they can choose to redeem that. So this is what we do in the market. We are the first to come up with a 5 kg MOQ. Previously, there are a lot of collectors that actually go around and collect from restaurants and hotels, but we are the first to actually come up with 5 kg MOQ. We do provide them, if customers require, with a Jerrycan 5 kg. And once the Jerrycan is full, we come and collect it from them. And yeah, we are the first in the market. We are also thinking of trying to reduce the MOQ, but we haven't decided on the sweet spot for carbon saving and operational costs. Of course, when concentration grows, then we can actually reduce MOQ to even lower, so people can churn out used cooking oil at a faster rate. Apart from that, our greatest pain point is, of course, awareness. Like I mentioned, people don't really know that they can recycle, and they don't know the harmful effects they have to the environment and also to their health. That's why we go around and do a lot of awareness talk. This is one of the biggest operations for us. I think so with all green sustainable companies, you have to start off with awareness. So We hope that when we give out this awareness, there will be more UCO collection in the country, and we'll be there to collect it from them in the market. Just a little projection. We actually started off in October 2021, last year. We launched the app on the Apple Google Play Store and started our operation of last year. This is just a project. Of course, we started off, we are fairly new, but we started off with about 100, 200 kg a month, and now we grow to an average about 25 to 35 metric tons per month, month on month. Of course, this number is growing, yeah. And in terms of revenue wise, from 30 metric tons, we get about 150 to about 200,000 per month in terms of revenue. Gross profit from the revenue is about 30 to 35%, and our net profit to my gross profit, meaning when we have the oil, we sell it to someone, that's our gross profit, and then we also have a net profit for our operational costs and our overhead charges. So total, we have done about slightly above 1 million since October 2021, and yeah. Yeah, so as I mentioned, the CPO price is volatile. If you can just check the MPOB daily CPO price, you can see that the price has dipped a lot significantly in Q3, Q4 of this year. But what again is we go based on the percentage of the UCO. So when the price is low, we buy a lower percentage. We buy the same percentage, but a different pricing from our users, from our F&B and from our hotels. So we project that the commodity will be stagnant for the following year, and that's how our projection works. We started in October of last year. To date, in our app, we have about 3,400 users with close to 1,100 actively recycling, which is about 30% of people actively recycling. At least 1 to 3 monthly, they recycle once. From that users, we have still a portion that are in the F&B, which is 70% are still in the commercial segment, and 30% are in the household segment. And we are doing about 30 to 35 metric tons per month, which generates about 150 to 180,000 ringgit a month. These are just some of our clients. So when we started off Arus Oil, we had to work with a lot of partners. We work with JMBs, we work with property developers, we work with RA, resident associations. We work with a lot of other green companies to push out the awareness so that people can recycle used cooking oil. Apart from that, we also service certain segment of the F&B and the hotels. Like we are servicing YTY hotels and Stripes hotels, and we are also servicing some F&B chains like Lotus and Canteen, and My News. This is our roadmap. Like I said, we started development the app in September, and we start launching it officially in October. We started off with awareness campaign, and right now we are establishing with Shell, like Shannon has mentioned, we are working together with Shell to establish collection points, which works like not so much of a recycling center, but a collection point where our drivers can actually collect and drop it off there. So to reduce the cost of the driver to move in terms of diesel, carbon emission, and in terms of how much time they need to collect the point from the users. We have in our plans to roll out a gig economy. Of course, the thing of it is has to be ironed out properly, because there's a lot of legislation issues that we have to iron out before we actually move out. And in the future, we actually intend to have a smart tank, which has some sort like a reverse vending machine that can do the tracking and can allow users to recycle the used cooking oil at their convenience in any time, any day of their life. Just some pictures of us. We launched with Shell in 2 months ago in Penang, where we established a Shell station as a collection hub. So this pilot project was done in Penang because it's a closed circuit environment. And what we intend to do is, with the awareness of Shell's database and also the redeem of the Shell vouchers, we want to reach out to the end users. Yeah, just some pictures of us. So you can redeem, if you're in Penang, you can redeem a Jerrycan from the Shell stations and start collecting your UCO at home. Yeah, this is in the R&D stages. Of course, this is just a sketch. We haven't finalized the design and the feasibility of it, but yeah, the idea is to have a reverse vending machine with a sensor that users can actually pour, or they can be sucked from a user's bottle, and it can track to us through the app and actually give them a real-time transaction and real-time carbon saving tracking. So we are asking for 1 million in total, our cumulative fundraising round, for mainly for our expansion, because right now we are in Klang Valley from slightly above Rawang all the way to Seremban, and we just established a used cooking oil collection center together with Shell in Penang. But what we intend to do is try to expand more in terms of operation and awareness, because it has to go hand in hand. Operation has to go and awareness has to come along, because if there is no awareness, there's no point expanding our operations. Of course, we are also always serving the F&B segment, where we are going into tenders, we are going into procurement processes to get to the management of F&B and hotels. But where we see the biggest gap is, of course, in the household, which we intend to hit hard with the funding that we receive. Of course, part of our funding will go into our ISCC application, and also bulk of it will be into establishing more collection points and marketing. Yeah. So yeah, we're giving out 11% equity. We started out with four founders, Shazwan, myself, Chai Chong, Louis, and also Praveen. All of us are actually from different backgrounds. Honestly, Shazwan, our CEO, is actually from accounting and financing background. I myself, I'm actually a medical doctor with KKM before I quit in 2019. Louis is our CTO. All our app development is actually done in-house by Louis. He's an engineering engineer, but in programming and scripting and coding. And we have our Praveen Krishna, which is our CBDO. He himself actually is a part of the Churritos F&B chain. So he has developed us to get more oil from the F&B and the hotel segment. Yeah, so I think that is it for now. I think my time is up. If there are any questions, do hit us. You can check us on Facebook, or you can also download the used cooking oil platform, Arus Oil, on the Google Play Store, and actually start recycling to see the process of how we actually do it. And yeah, I'm open for any questions.